Okay, is this thing on? 1, 2, 3. Got the countryside out here in Mexico. So I wanted to show you guys something a little different this week. Currently, March 2021, I'm right here in the middle of Mexico. And I want to introduce the characters. Juan right here, who I'll refer to in a moment. And then our bikes here. Got my setup here with this crazy luggage that I've got on the tank. But let's take a ride. Let's take a ride and let's talk. I want to do kind of a podcast style motovlog for you today. And I want to explain what I'm doing. And we'll get right to it as we get on the highway. So I'm in Sinaloa, Mexico. That is a state on the west coast of Mexico. Probably best known, at least by Americans, as home of the Sinaloa drug cartel, which happens to be the largest drug cartel in the world right now. And we just went through Culiacán, which is the capital city, and now we're in the countryside on our way north. Hold on here, let me put the bike in neutral. You ready? Here we go. All right. So we're in Sinaloa countryside here, and we're probably close to 100 miles north of Culiacán. But I wanted to do something, like I said, a little differently this week, because I'm on a mission to try to put out at least one video per week. And even if I'm on the road with no access at all to video editing equipment, I figure, what the heck, let's just do a full episode with no cuts, no edits, just a solid, whatever, 10, 15 minutes of kind of interesting, hopefully interesting activities. I'll put a little look at my watch to see where we're at on the time, so I can stop this whenever we get to a good stopping point. Anyway, and hopefully it's not too windy. I've got this thing set up, and you can kind of see, you can kind of see my GoPro and my helmet, and I've also got a microphone attached to that GoPro inside my helmet, and that's what I'm talking into. So what am I doing in Mexico, right? What am I doing on these sort of cheap Chinese motorcycles in the middle of Mexico? Well, aside from my sailing, I mean, everybody, you guys know me from my sailing videos, and probably that's why most of you watch the videos. But like all of us, I have many interests, and it's not just sailing. So I wanted to start bringing you guys in on some of my other interests. And one of those, well, more recently, I've become really interested in motorcycle travel, and specifically on a small CC type motorcycles, going pretty slow, but being able to just really see the sights, and in this case Mexico. So I contacted my friend Juan, who you saw at the beginning of the video. He is from a town called Guanajuato, Mexico. Guanajuato. It is in the center of Mexico. And the state is called Guanajuato, and then the capital city is Guanajuato. So if you haven't heard of this city, I mean, I highly recommend checking it out. Even if you just do a Google search and look up the images when you hit Guanajuato, it is really an incredible town. It's like a magical wonderland. I mean, it's like Disneyland, but with more of a cultural history to it. I mean, obviously not so fake as Disneyland, right? But it's just a really incredible place. So I contacted him probably in October, or actually earlier than that, probably August or something. And I said, look, I really want to do a motorcycle trip through Mexico. What do you think? Would you be interested in joining me? I know he was into, he has a scooter that he rides around town, kind of a Vespa style. I knew he would be into it. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And originally we thought, hey, let's just explore the Baja Peninsula, maybe go down from San Diego. We'll get a couple of used motorcycles. And even looking at used bikes, you know, you're looking at $3,000 at least, something like that, for a decent bike like a Honda. And he's like, hey, well, they actually sell these bikes in Mexico called Italika, right? Like Italian. Italika. And it's the most common brand in Mexico. And they're super cheap. Everybody has them. I mean, they sell them everywhere. They sell them at Walmart. They have these stores that are kind of like a mini Best Buy, where you can buy electronics and TVs and things. And in the front of those stores, they have a line of motorcycles, which are these Italika. So we decide to go with it, you know. So we research it, and we really got into this whole idea. And we bought two of the exact same bikes. They have something kind of like Black Friday in the US, which is holiday shopping. They have that in Mexico called like Buen Fin, which is like Good Weekend. And that's the good weekend for buying things at a discount. So we bought these bikes brand new for $1,300. They are 200, oh, here we go, little sign action. Bienvenidos Guamuchil. That's actually where we're staying for the night. But we bought these bikes for $1,300, and we ended up putting some stuff on the bikes, probably about $200 more, which with the luggage rack box, the trunk box in the rear, some accessories, you know, the cell phone holder. I got a GoPro mount right there. We've got some crash bars on the side, you can kind of see. That's if it slides, lays over the bike, and you can protect the side of the bike. We got those are probably $50 or $60. Anyway, we outfitted these bikes. I then went down to see Juan and the bikes in December, and we headed off for our first leg, which was Guanajuato to Mazatlan. We went through Guadalajara, we went through the tequila farming region. We went through the state of Nayarit, which has some coastline. There's a town called San Blas, which is in Nayarit, quaint little town with nice beaches. We went through there, and then we ended up in Mazatlan on the west coast of Mexico, and that was in December. And we left the bikes at Juan's uncle. He has an uncle that lives there, and cousins and everything, and we're like, oh, can we leave these in your garage for a couple of months? Because the plan has always been to take steps, do this trip in increments. You know, 10 days here, 2 weeks there, maybe twice a year kind of deal. So we did that, and no problem, left the bikes there. His cousin would start them up for us every once in a while. And now we're back for our second leg of the trip from Mazatlan, and we're going to take a ferry over to Baja, and we're going to explore like La Paz, Cabo, Todos Santos, those towns in the south of Baja, and then we're going to try to find a place to store the bikes again. This time we don't have, you know, the luxury of knowing someone like his uncle in Baja, but we're trying to make some contacts in southern Baja, someone who might let us leave these motorcycles for a couple of months in their garage, even if there's a small fee or whatever. So we are just enjoying this beautiful ride. It's really incredible to see, and what's most, I guess, remarkable for me is that a lot of these places and a lot of Americans are, you know, really afraid of Mexico for absolutely no reason at all. Aside from kind of rumor and things you hear on the news, which aren't, we only hear the bad things, of course. But what I'm amazed of is just completely safe, the friendliest people ever. Everywhere we go, people are offering to help. There's some dudes here next to me on a bike. So, how's it going? So we're just cruising through. I mean, it's been just a life, one of these kind of once-in-a-lifetime adventures. And we've been going through a lot of towns like this. We'll meet people along the way. I speak a little Spanish. Obviously, Juan is fluent in Spanish. So, obviously getting along just fine with him. And I'm practicing quite a bit of Spanish. But everywhere we go, whether it's a little lunch restaurant or walking around the plaza for the city, we will meet people. And a lot of those people, actually, it's funny, they've lived in the U.S. at one time in their life, and they'll tell us their stories, and they'll speak to me in English, kind of broken English, because they're kind of, I think they're excited, you know, to practice. So they'll tell me, oh, I lived in, you know, I had a guy this morning, he used to live in Seattle, Washington for a while, and then he actually lived in Washington, D.C. for a while, and now he's moved back, and he's an older guy, and we saw him in the little plaza of the town. So just experiences like that, one after another, and I want to bring you guys along with us on this trip, and I'm doing a lot of the video work right here from my chin, and then talking and telling you how it's going along the way. We should probably go around these cars. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, not even thinking. And, you know, you see something a little different, maybe get an idea of something you want to do. Maybe you're into motorcycle travel, and maybe you're like, well, you know, I can't afford it, or it's so much preparation involved. Well, you saw my bike when I started the video here, and you saw what I had. I literally have a duffel bag filled with my stuff, and I'm a little different than most people in that I have a lot of camera equipment. So if you're just a regular person who wants to travel without having to film everything with a drone, 3 cameras and this and that, you can even get by with a lot smaller bag than I have, and then a little trunk box. And what we'll do is we'll just come into towns, we'll plan out our days, we'll go about 100 miles, a little over 100 miles a day, depending on, you know, where we're at and everything. And we'll just we don't even have anything reserved in advance. We just go to the town, we find a hotel, we call a few places, ask them if they have room available. We've never had issues with having no rooms. Well, one place actually we had a little bit of an issue, but like the first 2 we called, there was no rooms, but then after that there were rooms. So we'll go, and a lot of times these rooms, you know, they'll have the 2 double beds, and they'll cost $20 to $25, and we'll share that. That's $10 each for the night, you know, and then we'll go out and have a nice little dinner. Not nice as in pricey, but just to get some food and explore the town a little. And then we'll do it again the next day, you know. We'll usually get up in the morning, explore the town a little bit. If it's a bigger town like we were in this morning, Culiacán, we explored probably 3 or 4 hours actually, and we left there at noon. And now we're getting into the next spot about 4:30. And we're stopping along the way. I mean, we're stopping at little, we went to a little roadside cafe for lunch. And actually it's funny, it's in this town 20 miles from the hometown of El Chapo, was where we had lunch. And everybody with Sinaloa, you know, they talk about, oh my god, the drug cartels and this and that, not safe, most dangerous place. Well, I haven't seen any danger whatsoever in this entire state, actually this entire trip. And so that's another thing I'm doing. I kind of want to dispel the myth that I want to dispel that myth that everybody is thinking it's so dangerous and whatnot in this area. So right now, what are we doing? Where are we at on the timer? We're at 14 minutes, but it's a good time to probably stop, and we're gonna figure out our hotel situation for the night. We usually just look at the cell phone. I do a Google search for hotels in the area, find something that has good reviews, and then we go to that hotel. So anyway, join me next time. Thanks for watching. Like I said, completely different than what I'm used to, but I wanted to let you in on some real life, real-time status update, if you will. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. By the way, AutoZone